You shirtless boy bands, it's time to dust off your starter jackets, rip off those tearaways and blow into your game cartridges. I'm Sam Blanford.
I'm Pat Sellers.
I'm Simon Blanford.
And I'm Sean Kelly, and we wish it was the 90s. Welcome back, dear listeners. It's been a while between drinks, but here we are, ready to discuss another really, really important topic, 90s music videos. We discussed perhaps doing the best, maybe the worst, maybe the most outrageous, and essentially we've spent far too much time watching too many music videos to be able to actually create a list that would quench your thirst for this particular topic. So instead, we put it out to the fans. Massive response. I would say 100% of about 10% of our listeners responded. And so we've got six fan votes. We've decided not to name the fans because one fan had a terrible vote. And then we all sat down and we watched a WatchMojo top 20 most ridiculous 90s videos. And we picked 6 out of that we thought were worth talking about. And not to spoil anything, but we've tucked a couple away for a Cringe Factor episode in the future. Just before we get started, obviously we like to do memories. This is obviously a bit of a weird one to say, what are your memories? But do you guys have particular memories of watching, I don't know, MTV or, Saturday morning top 20s or any of those types of things?
Yeah, I remember mainly watching Juice and possibly Juice 2. I think was Juice 2 a channel as well, and we used to have this game often, like having a few. This is not in the 90s. This is a bit later, but watching Juice, having a few beers, and like the game would be when the video clip comes on, who could name the song the fastest? Which was I was useless at. Lucas Goodwin, friend and guest of the podcast, was always the best at that. But
speaking of, actually, I mean, interesting on-air chat that probably shouldn't actually expose what Lucas does for a living, but has he got something to do with fire safety?
Yep.
I'm the fire warden in the office. I got an email from a drill the other day from a Lucas Goodwin, and I was like, I think I went to school with this guy.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Simon clearly doesn't know. He's a transponster.
Damn it, beat me to it.
Yeah, I growing up watched, like, I think maybe because my sister was significantly older than me, so in the early 90s I watched heaps of Saturday or Sunday morning. They did the top 20 and they had the music videos, and I was in it to win it to watch Do the Bartman. Which probably should have made it on this list. But so and then I just sort of carried that on. So like all through the 90s, I quite regularly watched music videos, and probably a Sunday morning, because presumably I had Saturday morning sport. But they did that top 20 or whatever, and I was there for it. I watched all the time, all the way up to Peter Andre's 8-pack.
There's a few 8-packs coming up.
Either of you two, Sammy, Pat?
I remember a lot more of the 90s, the top 20 countdowns. I can't remember if that. Yeah, you kept saying Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which day it was. MTV in New Zealand. Was that back end of the 90s, or did it actually not quite make the 90s? Might have been early 2000s by the time we got MTV here. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I can't remember either. It was around that time, because it feels like it was at that age where I was like 12 or 13. So the thought of risque TV made me think I was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what you're in it for, the music videos for. A lot of risque content back end of the 90s, early 2000s. But yeah. I mean, everyone watched music videos. I feel like we're a lot bigger around that era than today. I couldn't name you a recognisable music video of today's era. Well, at least not since like Seth Rogen and Franco did that thing on the bike.
Fair. Right, should we get stuck into on? So how this is going to work is instead of trying to put these into an order, we've got a tiered rankings system, and I'll record as we go. We're going to give it either a C, a B. Well, probably won't be many C's, but C's, B's, A's, S tier. There might even be a couple of F's as well.
Definitely got an F on mine.
Can I ask what S means?
Signature. Isn't that what S means? When someone says S class, doesn't mean like signature class, like the top range. I mean, it's certainly
no idea.
It's definitely what it means if you're buying a car from Toyota.
Oh.
And our new sponsor is.
Sweet. So first of the fan requests was Michael Jackson's Black or White. A phenomenal video, in my opinion. But let's hear from you, Simon.
What are we doing? Sorry.
God,
sorry, I was furiously rating all my videos S, A, B, C, and didn't catch what you were doing.
We had started on Black or White.
Oh, Black or White. Yeah, noticed with a lot of videos that we'll touch on later. Wind blowing in hair. That was a big thing in the 90s, eh? Wind blowing through luscious locks was a real recurring theme in videos. And that's all I got on that one, really. I don't have much. I don't want to even touch on the last 60 seconds of the video, to be honest with you. Someone else can do that. Because that's a whole nest of hornets, that last 60 seconds, but it's good content, so we probably have to mention it. But yeah, a lot of wind blowing in here, a lot of MJ just like screaming loudly with a high angle shot on him. It's good stuff. I had this as a B though. It didn't actually, really, really interesting, but only a B for me. And Sam's not happy about it, so let's hear from you, Sam.
I'm just gutted that you went to Simon first. I've been asking to be talking about Black or White for the past week.
I saw Simon wasn't fully paying attention.
We should have cut Sam out of this. It's just forget to give recommend. He mentioned it about 20 times.
Excellent thoughts, Sam. What did you think, Pat?
This video made me think, shit, MJ's the man.
Yes.
I wasn't really around for peak MJ. Like I wasn't I wasn't a massive MJ fan. But it's just like 4 minutes of him just dancing, no music in this video. And I'm pretty sure it's him. You don't see his face in some of the shots, but I'm pretty sure it's him. The Chiefs versus Indians scene is cringy.
You wouldn't get away with that now.
There's a few stereotypes that were very, very cringy, which made it all the better. The start is just absolute gold. So it must have been filmed pretty much straight after Home Alone 1.
Yeah, because when did this come out?
94?
Yeah.
I think both Home Alones have come out at that point.
Yeah.
That I don't even know what the dad's name is, but that's some superb acting.
Isn't that Norm from Cheers?
Oh, from Cheers. Yeah.
Correct.
What does it go? It turns up loud, louder, and then what's the last one?
Are you nuts? And doesn't he also say, "Eat this" before he strums the guitar?
Yeah, and the Macauley Culkin dubbed rap verse is extremely bizarre.
That was just a man's voice.
Yeah.
Uncredited man.
Various black or white children doing the verse.
That's
an S for me.
We've got an S with a B. Pat, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard one. I probably would have given it. Do we bring in any current information? No, we'll just leave it in the past day. So probably an S. Yeah, seeing Macaulay Culkin as a young kid at the front, it's hard to not think fucking on. But yeah, there was some great stuff in here. It's got the classic head turn morphing into people, which is the most memorable bit of the whole video for me. Anyway, it was the first thing I thought of when this one got brought up. I think it has to be an S, doesn't it?
It's an S for me.
Very harsh.
It's an S for me, and I'm happy to not say too much because I think it's been covered. And I'm quite happy to move on to our next. Sorry, Simon. I'm happy to move on to our next fan request, the Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication video clip. This time we'll start with you, Pat.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. This seemed to be pretty unanimous in our chat of the video clip you'd go for Californication. For some reason, the first video that popped to mind, and we talked about that Mojo clip, they had a top 20, and the only Chili song they had in it was weirdly Give It Away. And I'd have either Californication or Roller Coaster, which had all the scenes from Beavis the Butthead. Beavis the Butthead. But this was a goodie. This one, I remember a lot of the Californication clip, especially for some reason always stuck in my mind is the snowboarding over the bridge, which I'm pretty sure there was a snowboard game around that time that looked very similar. I don't think I'd ever been to the snow, but I remember I had a snowboard game that I was obsessed with.
It just made me think of the snowboarding mini game on Final Fantasy VII, and boy, did I shudder.
Go back and listen to that podcast, would you?
Yeah.
Got legs.
Sammy?
Yep. It wouldn't be a podcast without Pat pronouncing something wrong. Californication.
Close enough, isn't it?
While I was watching it, it just kind of dawned on me how much Red Hot Chili Peppers lean into their like druggy audience, I guess.
I wonder why.
Simon's watched this approximately 1 million times too.
Yeah, I've watched this so many times. My kids are both obsessed with it, to the point where as soon as it started, they would just no matter what the month of the year, they just take their tops off, a la Anthony Kiedis. And like they would just be sort of mirroring exactly his actions. So that when he falls down, they'd fall down. When he jumps over through the donut hole, they'd jump through the donut hole. All that sort of stuff. It's really, really quite fun. Pretty cutting edge graphics at the time. I feel like as well. Just like that was really cutting edge, and even now it doesn't look terrible apart from when he sort of falls into the flowers at one point. That's a bit rough, but yeah, I think. The other reason we had to do this is this album. I don't know how this album isn't the best-selling album of all time because every single person I know had this album as a kid. So had to be on the list. Do you want my rating, Bob?
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't been asking for ratings on this one.
S for me. Iconic 90s video clip.
It's an S for me too. It's an A for Sam.
Yeah.
So it's an S. Yeah, I like I like the song as well, and then you're right. Like I was a big fan of the album, but just like all of that aside, like you're quite often going to get me if your video is like made to look like a game because I'm like I wanted to play that game that didn't exist when I was a kid.
GTA-ish almost as well.
Next fan request. And I actually had, like, when speaking to people, quite a lot of people said this song to me as well. And that's Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. This time we'll start with Sammy.
Better start with somebody else. No, I was talking about this with Simon off air. And yes, I could remember it. Like, it was memorable, which is probably a good reason to talk about it. But it was just a normal video clip, personally. Gave it a B.
Ooh. Paddy?
I think he hit the nail on the head. It was definitely memorable without being having the wow factor or having like a really specific 90s vibe to it. But yeah, definitely memorable. Like as soon as it got mentioned. I knew exactly what the video clip was, so it's got to be up there. So I'm going to give it an A.
Yeah, those.
Simon?
I'll let you go last, Bob, because I know you've got very strong thoughts on it. I had this as a C, but it is memorable, and I can't deny that because, as you say, Pat, as soon as you say Bittersweet Symphony, you can picture the street, you can picture the guy. So for that reason, I will say it's memorable. But for me, overrated clip for an overrated song.
Ooh.
The drugs don't work. Always more of a favourite of mine than Bittersweet Symphony. And overrated clip for an overrated song. I think a similar video clip that's I think a little bit more interesting, probably that we could talk about at a later date, is Karma Police, where it's just that the car is chasing that dude the whole time. I think that's a probably more interesting one. But yeah, overrated clip, overrated song, B. And Bob, let's hear your counter argument.
I guess there's heaps of. I don't know if it's more to do with the song than the video. Like I'm the same. Like it's iconic in that I hear the song, I see the video. Like as soon as the music starts, I can see him standing there about to start his march. And there is a really interesting extended version where he ends up in a church, and I think like the direction around it to make it like a metaphor for the journey you go on and stuff like that. It's all really interesting. The backstory behind the credits dispute, because it's Rolling Stones sound or something like that. It's really interesting. There's a whole story that was told to me, and I haven't done any research to back it up, that the video is actually supposed to be about their journey to getting the song and video made because of the credits dispute. But yeah, I would have given this S for iconography. But I can understand your arguments against it, and I'm happy with it. So we're sort of floating somewhere around a B, I think. Is that what Sam and Pat went with?
BA.
I had an A.
And I said, oh yeah, so we've got so it's
I had a B.
We'll go B plus.
Yeah, nice.
All right, next one is again, you hear the song, you think the video, Praise You by Fatboy Slim. I'll go first this time, just to mix things up. Again, same music video aficionado who was telling me stories about videos, was talking about how, and my understanding is this is a real dance group asked to make this video, and all the people watching are actual bystanders going, what the fuck is this? And then find out, 6 months later or whatever, when the video's released, that they were watching a really ridiculous video clip for Fatboy Slim.
So this is like the original flash mob.
I guess so. Like, kind of like just weird dance groups that go out and do bizarre performances. And imagine that main guy must have had a pretty awesome career after that video.
Real good rat tail too.
Just a real motley crew of dancers. This is S for me. The song's phenomenal. The video's phenomenal. We'll go to you, Simon.
Yeah, completely agree. It's just awesome. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. I give it an S, no doubt about it. It's kind of unique for sure in its time, at least. Spike, I'm not sure exactly how you say his name, Yonza perhaps. He's gone on to have an unbelievably successful career, and I think it's a wonderful clip.
Sammy?
Yeah, it's all been said. S for me too.
Eddie?
This was one where the song got brought up. I didn't remember the clip, the video straight away. As soon as I started playing it, I was like, yeah. And it's a brilliant video. Even with the main guy, I got some real big David Koresh vibes. But maybe just without the instant recognition, I'm going to land it with an A.
That's an S though. Okay. Oh no, sorry, I've gone too far ahead. Thank God. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about that one yet. Next one was another. Obviously, we're still in the fan request. Was Foo Fighters.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my role. I'll call them the Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters. Learn to Fly. Where all the band members play various different people on a flight, with the exception of Tenacious D as the plane cleaners who throw an undisclosed drug into the coffee, and everyone gets super high and quite enjoy when the guy sitting between the two slightly overweight people's head turns into a cheeseburger. But probably my favourite part is Grohl's performance of like the teenaged music enthusiast who like stroking the pigtails whilst looking at Dave Grohl. Or also the other, I can't remember which band member it is, who just plays a baby and is just a grown man's head with a fake baby's body. Absolute S tier for me, like one of my favourite clips ever. But let's go to you, Paddy.
Yeah, this is a real good Dave Grohl's mostly prominent in this, which he is for everything Foo Fighters. He's got doing a real Eddie Murphy, playing every character type job, and definitely iconic. Remembered exactly what it was straight away. It's got to be an S for me. Also a great song.
Simon.
Yeah, I think Pat's hit the nail on the head there. You've got Grohl being every character, much like Eddie Murphy, and all those movies suck. So I'm going to give it a B. It's okay. Grohl, it's just musicians trying to be funny doesn't always work. I just wrote down Jack Black ? Good video clip, sure, but not iconic for me. Not S tier. B. Sam.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning more on Simon's side of things. Maybe is a little bit of my. I don't hate the Foo Fighters. I don't really think they're that amazing.
There's a bias you think there.
Possibly.
Both of us.
I also watching it, I wasn't like, this doesn't scream quintessential 90s to me. It is like, I quite like the clip. It's cool, and what they do, I laughed at certain bits, but I wasn't like, this is really cringy 90s. And it's also like really bordering 2000s. So I'm not like, oh yeah, I remember this from the 90s.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's 99, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just don't. When I think the Foo Fighters, I don't think 90s.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so that's probably. Is it one of the earlier songs? I'm not sure.
I think there's maybe one album before it.
So that's why I've given it a B.
Yeah, I think you say I might downgrade mine to an A. I think it just doesn't hit the real classic 90s vibes. I'm going to downgrade mine a little to an A.
I've given it an overall A.
Yeah, overall A sounds fair. Very fair.
All right, this next one, which is for very good reason. This is the reason we're not naming who nominated what song, because one of our listeners, prominent, big fan of the show, got a lot of respect for him. But to vote for The Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang, yeah, it's not good.
For all was it?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he didn't rewatch the clip before voting for it, because thinking about it, I just thought it was the Bloodhound Gang running around in monkey suits being weirdos. Rewatching it, real rapey.
No, I don't remember this at all. I don't even know what you're talking about, and I'm self-employed and I can't afford to get cancelled.
F's all round then.
Yeah, that's a. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, great job, Bob. That was great work from you. Fantastic.
What a profession.
I've got that's the end, but I've actually had a message while we've been podcasting for a fan request, and I'm keen to bring it up because as soon as I saw it, I thought that is incredible 90s music video. It might fall into a bit of a category that some of the other ones you've mentioned, and some of you might not have seen it. But if you've seen Smack My Bitch Up by The Prodigy, that is a crazy, crazy video clip. Have any of you seen it?
No, someone didn't do that at the Eastern Hut Year 6
They just
talent show, did they?
That video clip. That song's
We'll call 'em
definitely
Yana.
been brought up. Big fan of the pod, that song.
Go back. Can we edit in whatever pod that was? Go back and check out that episode. And you can hear the full story there.
Maybe
I
it was
do remember.
1997.
To be fair, Bob, just on that note, I don't remember that video clip. I'm sure it was banned in New Zealand. I'm almost sure it was banned in New Zealand.
Yeah.
But
So,
I do remember Firestarter, like that video clip, the guy in like almost like a sewer or something with that bald hair with the crazy green spikes on the side. That was pretty bizarre. But all I remember about that song was that it was basically banned in New Zealand. But I still don't know if I've ever heard that song.
Smack My Bitch Up.
Yeah.
So the video got banned all over the world. Basically, I won't want to, because it's got an awesome twist at the end. But the reason it got banned is it's like a first-person perspective of someone going on a night out, and they do drugs and they drink and they go to lots of different nightclubs and hook up with random people. And then at the end, there's a big twist that like makes you go, "Oh, I didn't see that coming." But yeah, it's pretty good. It's definitely of that like shock you genre of music video. But yeah, I thought it was worth throwing in quickly. Right, so we're gonna jump now to, we picked 6 out of that list, and we're gonna move through them quite quickly because, quite frankly, Bob was late to the podcast and everyone's tired. So we'll start with MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch This." Obviously iconic, introduces us to the hammer dance. Any particular thoughts out there?
I've got the least thoughts, so I'll just quickly jump in because mine's very, very small. I know this is epic, but I've actually only got it a B because I feel like it's been talked about so much that the hammer pants and all that sort of stuff. I don't have a hell of a lot to add to it. So it's exactly what I expected it to be. Not more cringy or not more awesome or anything like that. Just kind of so that's why I'm keeping it as a B.
Sam, you were saying something?
Which exactly is the hammer dance? Is it him crabbing across the screen?
It's the crab.
Yeah.
I did have a B, but just because of that, I'm bumping it up to an A. Just the mere vision of the pants. Were they parachute pants, whatever they're called?
Yep.
Make it worth watching. But yeah, a bit like Simon, I didn't really expect anything different. It didn't wow me in any way. I'd give it an A.
Paddy?
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with a lot of people. I think it's iconic. You remember exactly what it was as soon as you think of it. It's got some real 90s qualities. Like there's every possible camera angle, moves ridiculously fast from 30 different locations. It seems like you've got the not just the crab. You got the Running Man in there. All the vibrant 90s colors. I rate this in years.
Yeah, I thought of it. I think it's like, A, you instantly know what you're seeing when you think about it, but I agree with Pat, like, for the reasons of its identifiability and expectations of 90s-ness, it probably makes it a top tier for me as well.
Yeah, I was harsh. I should have given it an A. That's on me.
All right. Well, we're going to go with A. And then we're going to go to the next one that I know Sam is very keen to talk about. All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion. Sam?
Look, I do not remember this video clip at all. Obviously, know every word of the song.
It's all coming back to you now, though.
Hey, he got there. It was exactly what I thought it would be, like what Celine Dion would do. She is a god-awful actress, by the way. All I could think about when I was watching it is that old man husband of hers, Renee Angelil,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. But it's like an epic.
I
The
would describe
motorcycle
it as meatloafian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it.
The billowy curtains, the slow-mo.
Running down the corridor.
Oh, shit. S tier. If anything is S tier, it is this. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I agree. I do remember it, and I remember as like a 8-year-old or 9-year-old or whatever, being like not liking the song, but being like, oh, this is like a movie. Paddy, anything to add?
I think Meatloavian was probably the best descriptor of this. I didn't remember this one straight away, but yeah, it definitely rings a lot of bells. There's probably call your mate. There's so many fire hazards in this video. There's heaps of open fire and candles everywhere with heaps of white linen just draped everywhere. That's a real danger. But I also like this bloke's ridiculous bowl cut in this clip as well. I'll give it. I won't give it an S. I think I was sitting between a B and an A, but I'll give it an A because this could be a possible revisit for our other very successful episode type, Cringe Factor.
Yeah, I agree. Just a lot of great stuff. A lot of just like black or white. A lot of like broken glass and shattered windows. A lot of that good stuff. A lot of photos. There's a great my favorite ever thing in romance or videos is when you see the photo of the couple in happier times, and then the broken photo. You know, the glass shattered in the photo. You can't beat that. And that, you know, the other thing,
David
like.
Brent
Yeah, well, I was waiting. I was actually waiting. I was waiting and waiting. At like 2 minutes 30, I was expecting David Brent in a white shirt to come out going, "Oh, all the things." So just because it made me think of that, and it had my favorite, the photo of the couple, and then the photo being smashed, it has to be S just for that trope. I just love that one.
I think that's an S. Got a bit ahead of myself. I keep giving S's before we've agreed.
That.
Like that time we did the quiz and I kept giving us correct answers even when we hadn't. Next one. And it rolls right into the one after that, which is good. So we've got I Want You Back by NSYNC, the German version. I did not remember this, hadn't seen it, but it was in the Mojo video and thought, yeah, I can get behind this weirdness. Sam, thoughts?
Look, it's
See some head nodding.
Look, it's got everything you want out of an S tier. Awful dancing. Disgraceful fashion. Is JT 15 in this?
Yeah, he's real young.
Fresh faced. Absolutely loved it. Terrible CGI. And that gives it an S.
Paddy?
Nailed it. It's the terrible CGI that really, really brings this one home. Yeah, JT, hell of a golfer too. I'll give this one an A because I couldn't remember it. It was more of a wow when I watched it though. So it was bordering on an S, even though it didn't have that instant memory to exactly what this was. It's got a lot of 90s about it because it's a boy band. I could be harsh here with an A, to be honest, but I'll go with an A.
Simon?
I've done the same, actually, Pat. I think if this had been an iconic video clip in the sense you could recognise it straight away, it would go straight into the S category. But because it's not as iconic and I didn't really remember it at all, that's why I'm only giving it an A. I do have a few questions, though, Bob, if that's all right, if I just go into those. Are they all dead? Like, they're all kind of like hologrammy at times, the NSYNC people, you know, the NSYNC band members? Are they supposed to be dead? Are they in space?
No, I don't think so. It's like whoever's done the CGI. It's almost like someone's just figured out what CGI is, and they're testing it out.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, the other note I've made is that somehow JT is more camp than Lance Bass in this clip, which I didn't think was possible, but there you go. Is she dead? She kind of is there, and then she disappears as well. My boys, my sons, who I mentioned, big Californication fans, big big NSYNC fans as well.
Respect.
And what's the video clip where they're in their toys in the store and they turn it?
That is.
It's going to be May. Going to be May.
Yeah.
May. And you watch that, and there's the other kind of main singer, and there's JT, and there's this other kind of main singer, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't hit it big like JT. Kind of a handsome dude, great singing voice. Surprised he didn't hit it big as well. But sorry, I've gone on too long.
That's all right. I was going to say, like, the reason that this isn't S tier for me is that It's Gonna Be May and Bye 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 are just more iconic. Like Bye 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 with with their puppets and the girls pulling the strings. I actually think of that video when I think of NSYNC. So but this was also just mind blowing in what it was, and probably we didn't know it because it was the German version. So sorry to our German listeners who probably think this is the second most iconic music video of the 90s behind a certain Hoffman whose song won't come up because we're saving it for later. We know German listeners how much of a fan you are of his good work. But it leads right into our next one, Quit Playing Games With My Heart by Backstreet Boys, which was banned. Outrageous. Because of shirtless men singing in the rain. Too saucy.
Well, I'd love to be a fly on the wall at the filming of this. What'd you give it, Bob?
I gave it an A. And I think I'm being generous because I thought it was great and I thought it was super 90s, and this is what I was going to summarize with boy bands in general. Just shout out to boy bands singing in a cubed room and being on the ceiling, on the sides, and all, defying gravity. And maybe there'd not been enough of that in these two videos. Just like singing and throwing hands at the camera and walking towards it. That's what I'm looking for in a Backstreet Boys video. Maybe they're all wearing white for a scene and the other one they're wearing leather, and, just wasn't quite enough of that. But then I guess alternatively, the singing in the rain with the shirts off is pretty good stuff.
Who were you guys? Who was your favourite Backstreet Boy?
Oh. Carter.
Jared? I don't remember any of them.
I didn't have much to say about that one. The only thing I could think of was when I watched that at the end was Carlos Spencer on a toffee pop ad flashback. So for that reason, I give it a B.
You'd have been spent after that flashback.
Right.
Yeah, probably similar reasons to you with NSYNC, Bob. This isn't the iconic Backstreet video that I think of. I think of Backstreet's Back. So I was thinking
I'm a big massive
A.
fan of Larger Than Life, where they're on a spaceship and they're playing like space air hockey or tennis or whatever, and they've been like reanimated from being in suspended animation for 1,000 years or something. I'd prefer that because it's a bit. Also, they do a bit of cube singing in that one, I'm pretty sure. But all right. Speaking of shirtless, sexy men, right said Fred, I'm too sexy. For sure, an iconic 90s song. Wasn't overly familiar with the video, but shit, I had a good time with their spoofy take on sexy music videos. What did you guys think? Simon's doing some frantic research here.
Yeah, I think you should go first, Bob.
I've said enough.
The dance move. the fingers interlocked behind his head, elbows high, and then thrusting and gyrating at the camera. I thought was a nice touch.
It's interesting because I think when I saw this video as a child, I hated it, because it was what it was. But watching it now, it's quite clearly they're taking the piss, and it's quite a hoot. But yeah, satire didn't really dwell on me much as a child.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this in years and years, and I don't think I had ever thought they are just doing a great job of absolutely taking the piss here. So it was pretty funny to rewatch now.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. In my 30 seconds of quickly rewatching it now. All good points. And my other thing is that they kind of remind me of the nihilists on The Big Lebowski. So bonus points
Very
for
good.
that as well. So,
Great episode.
Nice little
great episode. Great episode of We Wish It Was the 90s. Big Lebowski. Check it out.
last of the list that we decided we'd go with is definitely, in my opinion at least, when I hear the song, I can see the video, and that's Eiffel 65 Blue, Dabba Dee, Dabba 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 Dabba. Anyone want to speak on that one first?
Definitely iconic. Definitely very 90s. I just remember those little blue aliens. I remember this being on TV all the fucking time. It's got to be up there for a 90s video clip. Definitely memorable. Yeah. Don't know if I'm an A or an S on that one.
Yeah, it's probably. I'm just getting carried away because it's iconic, but it feels a bit essy to me.
You reckon? I didn't think it was yes, it was memorable. I think what I struggled with doing this in general was distinguishing the song and the video clip. Because we're not podcasting about the song. And yes, I did remember this as when I thought of the song. I wasn't like, oh shit, that's a great video clip. It just kind of, the song's called I'm Blue, so that's why it's kind of about blue aliens. So definitely not an S for me, more of a BA for me.
That's fair enough.
Good degree. I'm giving it an A. Just weirdness factor, really. I think it takes a bit of guts to be that strange in a video clip. Terrible CGI, terrible graphics. But yeah, A, just because of it's weird. Kind of makes me want to play Abe's Odyssey on PlayStation again. Those blue guys remind me a hell of a lot of Abe and his never-ending Odyssey.
I'm happy to go with an A. I just realised that I had a few direct fan requests that I didn't put on the list. I won't run through them all because he gave me quite a lot. But the reason I thought of it is a similar animation style video as I don't know if you guys remember Sweet Like Chocolate by Shanks and Bigfoot. Awesome video, animated video. And then the other one there's a few that me and this person talked about, but one in particular that springs to mind is Sunshine by Dario G. Do you guys remember that one where they're dressed up like animals in the African desert? It's great. It's a dance tune. Oh, look, it's a great tune. And I reckon you, because you don't recognise the name of the song, I think if you looked it up, you'd know it straight away. Yeah. It's called Sunshine. A few other worthy mentions from that list. We decided to leave Barbie Girl out because everyone knows exactly what that is. Coffee and TV by Blur with the sad milk carton tells a good story, but it's not super 90s. I think we're all just a little bit too weirded out by Sir Mix-a-Lot and Baby Got Back with all the, particularly with those two little butt cheeks sitting on the middle of the vinyl for the video clip.
I think we might just be doing one band a disservice. I think kids nowadays, you think of made for TV bands, your One Directions and stuff, but really started in the 90s, you know. I mean, you can't mention the 90s without talking about the girl power craze.
Mm.
You know, that was huge. And, you know, these guys took New Zealand by absolute storm, in the 90s. And after many rumors, they sadly broke up in 2000. But I just think we just have to mention Tonight by True Bliss.
I thought that's where you're going.
It's an absolute banger of a video clip. So just have a look at that one.
When you started that, before you mentioned girl bands, and then I had no idea where you were going, I thought you were going to talk about the Beastie Boys, who we haven't talked about, but they have got awesome video clips. Sabotage, where they're like, are they fake cops or something running around, and it's like real spoofy and silly, but also Intergalactic is a phenomenal parody of, big robots and kaijus and that sort of thing. Beastie Boys make great videos as well. Worth mentioning.
They do. That's exactly right.
It's almost time to wrap things up, and probably just as well because I've actually got to run off and do a quick look at my accounts. If I was going to get someone to do that for me, Pat, where would I go?
There is a fantastic operation right here in Wellington, and they're called Accountants Plus. They can take care of all of your accounting needs for you.
Absolutely. Love Accountants Plus. I wouldn't account with anyone else. Feel free to...
I wonder what Jace is like with music videos.
It'd be great.
Please feel free to hit us up on the Slacks and tell us what your favourite, least favourite, most interesting video clips of the 90s were. Remember, we're on Facebook and Instagram and Threads and TikTok at WIWT90S and at Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Thinking about starting a MySpace page.
Bebo.
But yeah, also, feel free to give us a review, 5 stars, say whatever you want. In fact, we love some written responses. And even if you absolutely tear us to pieces, if you give us 5 stars, we'll read it.
Send us a letter.
Oh, yeah, send us a letter. We've got an email address too, don't we? WIWT90s@gmail.com. Then we could start a letters segment.
I like that. I'll just start reading made up ones.
Perfect. But if anyone else has got anything else to say, we can wrap this up and get out of here.
Brigates.
Leave that part in, I think.